So excited to be here on the 2023 Twin Cities Film Fest red carpet. I am Miss Shannon, and the lobby is absolutely electric, and it's for a very good reason. Our first Minnesota-connected film, one of our favorite documentaries of the festival this year, Stories Behind the Menu. And it's all been brought together by our two founders, Shay Sandifer and Julie Burton. So congratulations on this film. It's so good to see you, friends.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Absolutely. Now, Shay and Julie, this was originally something you were doing for the community, where you were just telling these stories and you were sharing some of the wonderful, amazing chefs we have here in the Twin Cities, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes, and then last year, Flow Studios with Amanda Brinkman and Sunshine Studios decided to take this and help us take it to the next level and turn it into a documentary.
Now, when we go to your website, we can see all of the wonderful information where originally when you were having these, were they quarterly events that you started with?
Yes, they still are quarterly. So they are quarterly dinners that start with Black History Month, and we take chefs, storytelling, and we're telling a story about how the only true cuisine in the United States is indigenous. Everything else was brought in through enslavement or immigration, so why are we racist?
Now, Julie, can you tell us a few of the chefs that have been part of the overall series, and then we'll get a little bit more into what we have covered in the documentary.
Sure. So we had Mateo Maccabee from the Crew Restaurant, and we've had Zorit Heilicher. She's Middle Eastern food, which was amazing. We've had Amelia Damgard, amazing Guatemalan food, and lots more that you'll see in the documentary.
And one of the other wonderful things about this documentary is that you've also helped make our opening night even extra special by bringing in some of the chefs to actually do a tasting in our Twin Cities Film Fest lounge.
Yes, we have 5 chefs that decided to return with us, and Jaden from Twin Cities Film Festival is like, let's make this a different type of experience we haven't had. So after we do the screening, we are going down to taste some of their food that we've had and have a whole after party.
I just love the fact that we are using food to start these, as you say on your website, courageous conversations, that you are really showcasing. So many of our celebrity chefs, our Mateo Maccabees, our Chef K's, our Sean, our Sean's from Owamni. Like, it is an amazing collection of stories. I see our friend Melissa Silva, who is here from El Burrito Mercado. When you were presenting this to people, how did you encourage these chefs and get them to sign on for what you were doing with Stories Behind the Menu?
So we talked, we kind of figured out that we wanted to have a variety of different chefs, different backgrounds, different cultures, and we started reaching out to people and telling them about our idea, and really they loved it and wanted to be a part of it.
They wanted to tell their story. That was the thing, for them to be able to tell their story.
Well, I think that's just absolutely fabulous, and I do want to also give us a little more just context for what people can see when they watch the documentary. So what's the primary difference between the stories they'll see on screen versus what they saw when they actually attended one of your dinners?
So what they're going to see is someone that's standing by us is how we even got here. A wonderful man by the name of Bukata Hayes that believed in our project. So when I approached him and said, we are going to storytell through food and tell this story before racism becomes a mental health issue, and that he saw what we were doing and believed in us. And so you're going to see his belief, and through a healthcare company that this hasn't been done before, and he speaks on that. So I'll let him tell you what he believed.
So I'm going to come down here, Mr. Hayes. So excuse me just a second, Julie. So I would love to just hear why you were so resonated with the story that you heard when you were pitched Stories Behind the Menu.
Yeah, so one, I would just say that at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota, we believe in community has the answers. And so they went to community, right? And they made partnerships and collaborations that told a story of defiance, of reclamation, right? In the midst of tremendous trials. And so to be able to sort of sustain a tradition, right, of food, of sustenance, that also leads to, we know, better health, right, I think was really important to bring to the community, and through that they were able to bring it to documentary that we'll get to see today.
Well, thank you very much for your support, Mr. Hayes. So what are the next steps other than joining us for our opening night here? And I see a who's who of our Twin Cities foodie community, our food writers, our food journalists are all here. So what's next as you move on to the next steps of Stories Behind the Menu?
So we have exciting next year on the way. And, you know, as we're talking about, it's time to probably take it national. It's time for us to hit the Kentuckys and the Idahos and the New Mexicos that have a story to tell and try those cuisines and start healing together. As I said before, we are with our brothers and sisters in Israel, and we see that we all need to heal across the world. So we're going to start here, one meal at a time.
Thank you for sharing that. Let's also give everybody the information on your website so they can support and amplify the work that you do as you start to go national.
Yeah, so storiesbehindthemenu.co. They can find a ton of information there. And we also have our next dinner wrapping up the 2023 season, December 7th, with Heather Jantz, Sri Lanka food, the Curry Diva. So we still have some tickets left.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for adding all of the sparkle and the shine and the spice to our opening night here at the Twin Cities Film Fest. And I can't wait for everybody that's in the lobby right now to be able to see your documentary. So thank you very much. For everybody out there, a great example of one of our Minnesota Connected film, bringing community together, showcasing the amazing, talented people that we have here. And it's all courtesy of the 2023 Twin Cities Film Fest. We'll see you back here soon.